chapter, that is not-for-profit organizations. So the format for the receipts and payments has been detailedly discussed earlier. Each of these items are going to be presented as receipts and payments. What is this receipt? Whenever you get the cash or bank, you are going to show it as part of the receipts, and whenever you are going to give the money, it will going to be called as payments. Now the difference between receipts and payments, income and expenditure, is what you know, that is your revenue, capital items, and your current year or previous year or the past items. All those things, bifurcation has already been dealt. So we will be directly getting into the topic and getting into the illustrations now. So if you see, the first illustration is the Tamil Education Society prepare the receipts and payments. They have given the opening cash balance, building purchased, rent paid, staff salary, scholarship given, subscription received, entrance fee received. Now, if you go by this, if you see receipts and payments is what? It is just a replica of your cash or bank book. So keeping that in mind, we'll be preparing the receipts and payment account for the year ended 31st March 2019. So the opening balance over here is going to be 18,000. Whatever payments were made during the year, for example, the rent paid, the scholarship which is given, and the building which is purchased, the staff salary 55,000, and the entrance fee received, which is 18,500, and subscription received 2,65,000. So we are going to take all of this, and we are getting the closing balance of cash in hand as 15,300. So the question, so let's get in the second illustration. Here, from the following particulars of Trichy Education Society, you are required to prepare the receipts and payments account for the year ended 31st December 2018. So they have given the opening cash balance, the investments made, honorarium, donations received, audit fee paid, locker rent received, sale of furniture, general expenses, postage, subscription received. And then, so based on this, what we are going to do, we are just going to prepare a replica of your cash book, because it is a receipt payment account. So we'll write in the books of Trichy Education Society in the heading, and then we'll write receipts and payment account for the year ended 31st December, and debit, credit, which is going to be receipts on one side and the payments on the other side. Under the receipts, you have an opening cash balance, whatever amount you have received as donation, locker rent, as sale of furniture. Now all these things, there are certain capital items, there are certain revenue items, but we are not going to bifurcate. Whatever amount is received and paid, we are going to show it as part of the receipts and payment account. Same way for the next question. From the following particulars of Chennai Sports Club, prepare the receipts and payment account. The opening balance of cash and bank is there, interest paid is there, telephone expenses is there, upkeep of ground is there, life membership fee, bat and ball purchased, subscription received. But here they have given for 16-17, 17-18 and 18-19. So do you think we should bifurcate over here? It is not required, because for receipts and payments, even if it is pertaining to previous year or for the future years, if it is received in advance, we are going to show as part of receipt. Then tournament expenses, tournament fund receipts, and the closing balance of cash. So with this, we'll prepare the receipts and payment. So we'll write the heading in the books of Chennai Sports Club, receipts and payment account for the year ended 31st March. We'll have the opening balance of cash, and we'll take all the receipts, the life membership, tournament fund fees, and then whatever is the subscription which is received for 16-17, 17-18 or 18-19, we'll mention it over here. And on the payment side, whatever payments you made through cash or bank, will be mentioning over here. So the interest which is paid, telephone expenses, upkeep of the ground, so this is spent by the sports club. So by bat and ball purchase, the tournament expenses, and you finally have the closing balance of cash, and the balancing figure of bank will be arrived through this problem, and this is how your receipts and payment account will be done. The next illustration is for Pumbuhar Literary Association. So being a library, so you should know like what are the expenses which are pertaining to a library, and based on that you are going to prepare the receipts and payment account. So same way, you have an opening balance, you have all the receipts on the debit side, you have all the credit payments which you have made that will be on the credit side, and you get your closing balance of cash and bank as the balancing figure. Next, Velur Recreational Club. We are required to prepare the receipts and payment account. So they have given the opening cash balances, furnitures purchased, sports material, donations received, sale of old tennis balls, newspapers bought, travel expenses, receipts from the entertainment, admission fee, municipal taxes, expenses of charity show, billiards table purchase, construction of new tennis court. Now this construction of new tennis court is what? It is going to be a huge expenditure. But are we going to treat it as capital? No, because we are only asked to prepare receipts and payment. We are not going to bifurcate the capital and revenue expenditure. And so most of the expenses will be shown as part of this revenue receipts and payment. And on the debit side we have the receipts, and on the credit side you have the payments. So if you don't get the balance on the credit side and you get it on the debit side, means it will be called as what? Bank overdraft. Okay, because you have spent more than your balances. Next illustration, you are required to prepare the receipts and payments and income and expenditure. If you see the receipts and payments, the opening cash balance is there, whatever amount you received is there, and the payments they have given. Now with this you are required to prepare the income and expenditure. So we would have learnt in the theory class that we are going to exclude this opening and closing balances of cash, and we will exclude some capital receipts and capital payment. We will exclude the previous year pertaining and the future year pertaining expenses and income, and we are going to treat only current year as income and expenditure. So that is how this income and expenditure is going to be prepared. I'll tell you what we have done. See, if you compare here, stationery paid, we have taken over here. Sports material purchased also is revenue, so we have taken here. Computer purchased, we have not taken because it is a fixed asset and it is a capital expenditure, so it won't come over here. Salary is a revenue expenditure that we have taken over here. Same way, rent received is a revenue receipt, so we have taken it over here. And sale of investment is not going to be taken because it is again a asset, so that is why we are not, it's a capital item, we are not going to take it. Subscription received is a revenue receipt, so we are going to take that. So based on this income and expenditure is going to be prepared, and you get a surplus of 27,000 over here. So your income is more than your expense, so you are getting a surplus. So please remember, all these asset items or your capital items will not be part of your income and expenditure. Okay, so when you prepare the revenue, whenever you prepare the receipts and payments and income and expenditure, this is the difference. Both will look very similar, but only difference over here is going to be, you are not going to take what? You are not going to take capital, and you will take only what? Current year expenses. Very important. Only then this answer will be correct. So again, they have given the receipts and payments of Trichy Recreational Club. So we'll quickly, I will be showing you. So furniture purchase will not come, rent will come, secretary's honorarium will come, postage will come, general expenses will come, printing stationery will come, audit fees will come. This won't come. Then opening balance also won't come. Dividend received, yes. Sale of newspaper, yes. Member subscription, yes. Locker rent, yes. Interest on investment, yes. Sale of furniture won't come because it is a capital item. So if you see, whatever I have crossed will not be part of income and expenditure account. Others will be part of the all these things will be part of balance sheet, and the whatever I have ticked will be part of what? Receipts and payments. Whatever I have ticked will be part of income and expenditure account. So there are certain peculiar items which was already discussed with the during the theory class. So if you see over here, the subscription as such, which is going to be part of the income and expenditure account, will be computed only for the current year. We need what? For current year. So that is the main reason. What we do is, whatever was received for the previous year will subtract, whatever is received for the subsequent year also you are going to subtract, whatever is outstanding for the current year you will add, and you will add the received in advance during the previous year for the current year. So that means the subscription, after doing this adjustment, whatever you get will be for the current year. So you are simply going to exclude the previous year or future year subscriptions, and you will add the outstanding and the advance which is received in the previous year for this year. So this is how the subscription adjustment should be done. So let's get into illustration 8. Here we are asked to calculate the amount that is to be shown as subscription in the income and expenditure account. For which year? For 31st March. So very important, if you miss out on the finding for which year, then you will be ending up with a wrong answer, because this is for 31st March 2017. And if you see, we have received how much? For 15-16 we have received 7,500. For 16-17 we have received 60,000. And for 17-18 we have received 1,500. Now our year is which one? 2016-17. So this is the current year. So this is the past year and this is the next year. So what we have to do, we have to exclude this when we show the subscription income. So let's see how it is presented. So the total received was how much? 60,000. To this we will add the outstanding, because it's already given for which year. 16, 17, 60,000 is given. Otherwise what you should have done, you should have excluded from 69,000 7,500 which is for 15-16, 1,500 which is for 17-18, and you would have got 60,000 as the answer. And to that we will add the outstanding for the year 16-17 2,400, and subscription for 16-17 received in 15-16 was 1,000. So these two will get added. So when you see the format over here, so by subscription 60,000, to this we are going to add the outstanding subscription and the subscription which was received in advance for 16-17. Yes. The next illustration, there are 300 members in the club, each paying an annual subscription of 200 per annum. So 300 members are going to pay how much? 200 per annum. So you are going to get 60,000. The subscription is still outstanding for the year 17-18 is 1,000 rupees. And they have given in the receipt, they have already bifurcated. 17-18 pertaining is 5,000, 18-19 pertaining is 48, 19-20 pertaining is 3,000. So you should have received how much? 60,000. Yeah. So you should have received how much? 60,000. But the outstanding for 18-19 is 12,000. So the total subscription received is how much? 48,000. Where it is mentioned in the question, if you see, the total received is 48,000 for 18-19. But actually you should have received how much? 300 into 200. That is 60,000 you should have received. But you received only 48,000. That means 12,000 is not yet received, and that is outstanding. So that is what is shown over here. So 48,000 received, add outstanding and 60,000 over here. So in your balance sheet, you will be showing 1,000 rupees which is outstanding, 18-19 which is now for this year outstanding. So total outstanding is 13,000. Received in advance is 3,000. The next one is, how are you going to prepare the items that is going to appear in the final accounts of a club for the year ended 31st March 2017. The club received a subscription of 25,000 during the year 16-17. This includes the subscription of 2,000 for 15-16 and 1,500 for the year 17-18. The subscription of 500 is still outstanding for the year 16-17. So keeping that in mind, when we prepare this income and expenditure account, you can see the subscription is how much? 25,000 rupees, and from there we will subtract the subscription which is pertaining to 15-16, 2,000 rupees, and also the subscription which is pertaining to 17-18. It is an advance, right? So we'll remove that also, 1,500. So we'll get 21,500. And what is outstanding for 16-17, we'll add that. So when we add the outstanding subscription over here, we get 22,000. And when we prepare the balance sheet, the subscription which is going to be received in advance will be on the liability side, and the outstanding subscription for 16-17 will be on the asset side. So this is how you have to present your subscriptions which are to be received. Either it is going to be received in advance, will be on the liability side, and which is outstanding will be part of your asset. The next problem is, the outstanding subscription for 1/1/18 is 10,000 and on 31/12/2018 is 7,000. Subscription received in advance is 3,000 and on 31/12/2018 it is 5,000. So your outstanding, that is this is received in advance. So this is the opening and closing balance of advances, and this is the opening and closing balance of outstanding subscription. So, and they have also said that the subscription received during the year was how much? 1,50,000. So when we prepare the format once again, you received 1,50,000 subscription, and to this we will add the subscription which is received for 2017. So 3,000, and subscription which is outstanding, that will be 7,000. Okay, so from this table I'll tell you how to find it out. So this is subscription which is received in advance. So this is for which year? This is for next year. And outstanding subscription of 7,000 is also for this year. So we have to take only these two over here, right? So this advance received in advance will be over here, and which is outstanding also will be part of this. And then whatever is subscription is outstanding for 17 over here, that will be reduced because it is not pertaining to this 18. And then finally the subscription which is going to be received in advance also we are going to reduce because it is pertaining for next year. So finally you will get the income from subscription for the year 2018 as 1,45,000. So the next problem, you can see that they have asked you to show how the item of subscription will appear in the income expenditure account for 31/12/2018. The subscription received is 16,000, which includes, so you received how much? 16,000, which includes 3,000 for last year and 5,000 for next year. So what we have to do, we have to simply subtract that. Whatever is not pertaining to this year, we will subtract that. And what is outstanding now? Outstanding for this year is 4,000, and which is received in advance is 2,000. So but advance was received in the last year for this year. So we will add that also over here. So finally you will get your subscription income as 14,000. So this is how you are going to present. So subscription received during the year, actual cash received. From there we will subtract the subscription which is received for 2017, which is for last year, 19 which is for the next year, and you will add the subscription which is due for this year, and also whatever advance you got for pertaining to this year we will add, and you will get your subscription income as 14,000. Now how are we going to treat these? The question over here is, how are we going to treat the consumable items such as the sports material, stationery and medicines? If you see, the consumable items will be what? They will appear on the debit side of the income and expenditure account because they are all going to be spent. They are going to be consumed. So, but what about the stock? The stock has to be like, you have to show it in this format: opening stock, purchases and less closing stock. So this is how you get your consumption. And the closing stock will appear where? On the asset side of the balance sheet. And suppose there is any sale of such sports material, that will be shown on the credit side of the income and expenditure account. So let's see one problem over here with respect to stock. So the stock on 1st April is 3000 and the sports material purchased during the year is 9000. Sale of old sports material is 500 and the closing stock is 4000. So how are we going to present this? So your sale will be on the credit side on the income side, which is 500, and your consumption will be on the debit side, which is the expenditure. So your opening stock is 3000. To this you will add your purchases and you will subtract your closing stock. So 8000 is your consumption. And what about the balance sheet item? Whatever is your closing stock will be shown on the balance sheet on the asset side. Coming to the next problem. From the following, you are required to calculate the printing and stationery that is to be debited to the income and expenditure account and show how it will appear on the balance sheet. The amount paid for stationery is how much? 1500. Stock of stationery this is the opening stock is 300. Closing stock is 200. So we'll go back to the same format, and the expenditure will show what? Consumption. Under consumption, it is opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Opening stock is 300, purchases is 1500 and closing stock is 200. So we'll get 1600 as consumption, and this closing stock again will show as part of the balance sheet under the asset side. Okay. This is a very important concept. How to treat income and expenses for specified funds. So specified funds are to be shown on the liability side. The fund has been collected with some purpose. For some specific reason it has been collected. So it will be where on the liability side. Suppose there is a specific fund investment, that will be shown as part of the asset side. The income and expenses related to this specific fund will not be recorded in the income and expenditure. They will be adjusted in the fund itself. So we will be seeing that in this problem. So the prize fund was 60,000. The prize fund investment was again 60,000. The interest received on the prize fund investment is 6,000. Prizes distributed. That means these prizes were given for which the prize fund was created, and you got some more donation for the prize fund. So how are we going to treat each one of this? Like I said, this is a specific fund. So it will be part of the liabilities. So the opening balance is how much? 60,000. To this we will add the interest which is received, which is 6,000, and whatever donations received, that also get added over here as 78. And so this is the additions made, and you have some expenses of prize being distributed, which is 8,000 rupees. So finally your fund balance will become 70, and this prize fund investment is how much? 60,000 now.